Scientific notation, comparing and ordering. This is a digital lesson, and you want to introduce this lesson once they already understand scientific notation and they can write numbers in scientific notation and also change them to standard form. So once they can do that, they're ready for this lesson. So it starts out with explaining as a review what scientific notation is and what it looks like, and then explains to the students that when we want to determine which is larger, we look at the exponents first. So here, if we have an exponent of 5, 5 is greater than 3, so this is going to be a greater number. And then it shows students why that is. So if we look at these two numbers in scientific notation, well, you can see that 8 is greater than 3. However, with a large exponent, this is what this number would look like, and with a small exponent, it would look like this. So you can see that this one is much greater. And they need to also look and see what happens when the exponents are negative. So they have to be careful. They want to think about which one's closer to 0 on the number line. So -3 is greater than -5, so this number would be greater. And on the next two slides, students are going to be typing in which one is greater. So you want to teach them how to type an exponent in Google Slides, and I have this in the teacher instructions. So this one's already done. On the next one, we can see that the one with an exponent of 9 is going to be greater. So they just type in 2 and 39/100 times 10, and then to get this exponent of 9, they come up here to insert and scroll down to special characters. And then they want to type in the word superscript. You might want to post this for reference for the students. And they have all the exponents pop up, and they're just going to click on the 9 and then X out. So now the 9 is already there. They're going to do that 3 more on the next slide. And then they're shown what to do if the exponents are the same. Well, if the exponents are the same, we look at this, we call it the mantissa. Which one is greater? Well, 7 is greater than 2, so we know that this number is going to be greater. On the next slide, they're going to be dragging and dropping these less than and greater than signs into the correct circle to show greater than or less than. So they just click and hold on the edge and they can move that into place. Now, if one of the terms is not in scientific notation, so we can only have one number to the left of the decimal point. So this one, we have to change it to scientific notation before we can compare them. And it shows how to do that. So here we have the number, the mantissa, and then we have the power of 10. Well, we want to move this decimal point one place to the left, and it makes it a smaller number. So if we're moving one place to the left, that means we have to divide by 10. And if we divide by 10 here, we have to multiply by 10 here. And that keeps it the same value. So you can see that this one, we move the decimal point one place to the left, and this one, to multiply by 10, we just change our exponent to one number higher. Now in this one, we're moving the opposite direction, so we're going to move this decimal point one place to the right. That makes it a larger number, so we're going to multiply by 10. And if we multiply by 10 here, we have to divide by 10 here, which makes that exponent one number less. And then let's see what happens when the exponent's negative. Well, here we know we have to divide by 10 to move that decimal point to the left. To make it a smaller number, we divide. Now this one, we're going to multiply by 10 on this side. We want this to be one number greater. So it's not going to be -8, it's going to be -6 would be greater, one number greater than -7. So they have to be a little careful on that one. The next slide, they're just going to be changing each one of these to scientific notation. And then they're going to order these from least to greatest. So you can see that two of these, they're going to have to convert them to scientific notation first. So they're going to want to have some scratch paper in order to do that. The next slide, we're going to do the opposite. They're going to be ordering these from greatest to least. And then they have a challenge problem here. We're going to change this number to scientific notation, and they're going to type it in the bottom. So that is a lesson on scientific notation, comparing, and ordering.